That one burns a little bit. Whew. Kind of like that loss. All right. Heat Nation, what's going on? Miami Heat, they lose 117-115 to the Indiana Pacers in what was, to date, the most critical game of the Miami Heat season. Tiebreakers on the line, 6th seed on the line. And, Miami, unfortunately, comes up on the short end of this one. Very, very competitive game down the stretch. You had your chance there a couple of times. You had Tyler Hero. He was at the free throw line, and the Heat tried to do an intentional miss. They call a lane violation on Kevin Love, although the replay looked like it might have been Tyler Hero. So Miami falls, couple short, very, very tough. Tyler had a big fourth quarter, which has been very impressive for only a couple of games back. He had a monster 3-pointer that cut it to 1, and then it looked like Miami. I mean, to me, it looked like Miami got the stop on Miles Turner. It was really brutal. I just think Scott Foster needs to answer for his crimes, dude. It's enough of this guy already. He just waltzes around the league. Whee! Look at me. Just trying to just poke his beak into the game. And then at the points where you actually need him, like when Jimmy Butler's getting mauled, what does he do, dude? Oh, his belly gets full because he's swallowing the whistle. But if it's a ticky-tack call, oh, he's right there for you all over the place. So Scott Foster, I really just wish he was taken away in handcuffs after this one. Just a brutal look-at-me game from him. Hated that. Wish Spo had his review. The one thing I would say is Jimmy they go to the review. It was like 2:30 left. And Jimmy, the Heat are down 4. He tries to get Nesmith, and Spo challenges the call. I didn't think it had a prayer in hell. I don't know if that's one of those where you're trusting your best player, because that will happen from time to time. A coach will ride with his best player. Jimmy, to that point, was only his first foul, and I didn't think it had a shot, but it was a rough one. It ends up being unsuccessful. They end up going up 6 at the time with 2:30 left. And, I think it was after that, it was honestly probably the most critical part of that fourth quarter that I thought Indiana swung the game back to them, because it was all Miami at that point, even with the Nesmith foul, because Caleb Martin ends up getting a bucket, and then Siakam gets an and one. And then their next possession, Nesmith gets an and one, and that put them up 8. And that was really brutal. Miami was at that point, they were at a 16-4 run that cut the lead all the way down to 2. And to have those possessions was really, really, really rough. That was really, really rough. And then Miami's still in it. Tyler Hero, he hits a 3. Cuts it to 5, Halliburton, and then start trading possessions, and then Hero ends up getting fouled. This was a bit of a controversial one where he gets touched on the hip by Siakam. He nails all 3 free throws, and then they review that. That was the challenge that Indy threw. It's upheld. So the Heat, they go out there, they go full court. Pacers call timeout. Heat were looking to get the turnover, and Spo was absolutely furious. I didn't really hear him say anything about it after the game. We did not get an NBA. Do not fine me. So, yeah, man, that was a brutal one. So he, you know that Spo wishes that he had that one left, even with the Tyler Hero hitting the 3 ball, and you end up having to foul the Pacers. They go up 3. Tyler gets one more crack at it. They intentionally foul Tyler to send him to the line. They don't give Miami the opportunity to tie, and that's where you land on that one. So really, really crushing loss for Miami, and I think that for as exciting as the fourth quarter was, you had some excellent play today from Nikola Jovic. I think really cementing himself in whatever this season ends up being, playoff-wise, or whatever this season ends up being with standings. However far it goes, Nikola Jovic has cemented himself as a dude going forward for the Miami Heat. You know, he today, there was a point in the fourth quarter, they got Jaquez out there, who was basically your Jimmy replacement today, and he had a couple of opportunities where, you know, Bam finds him for an open jumper that could have cut it, and he blows that, gets the rebound, tries to fling it to Bam, and you know, he was just in some wrong spots here where he was like getting some fouls, and I just thought it was crazy that he was out there instead of Nikola Jovic. Even when Jimmy was back out there, he was playing with him. So it is an interesting story that we've gotten to the point of the season. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because on the one hand, you're getting one young guy playing, but I just think that Jovic was so sensational today and really was the momentum changer in that third quarter. He was so damn good. He had a point in the third quarter where, you know, Miami just really couldn't make any headway whatsoever. And he got a 3-ball. Terry Rozier got a 3 to a Nico bucket. Then he gets an and one. And then he was just going toe-to-toe with, like, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, and it cut it to single digits. He was so good. And even at that point, I was like, what do we even – you know how Spo was, like, riding Kevin Love the last game? I didn't even understand why they were taking Jovic out. And they didn't take him out for long, to be fair. But I just thought, like, man, you can't – this guy is everything for right now for Miami. So – I would say out of all of the pain that this game brings, and there was a lot of it, trust me, Jovic giving you what he was able to give you was quite encouraging. But there's no doubt this is it's a bad blow, man. You can't come out of a game with this significance, right? You can't. You can't come out there in a game of significance and have the defensive intensity. I know they're a good offensive club, but they're not a good defensive club. And so for Miami to come out in that first quarter, let's see if I get the first quarter box score here. You're outscored 34-28, 0 of 7 from 3 while they were 4 of 8. So they just got off to a tremendous start. No resistance. And then when the second unit comes in, I mean, this TJ McConnell, I mean, you want to put him in the pantheon of all-time Heat killers. This goes into the likes of Terrence Ross, Nikola Vucevic, TJ McConnell. I mean, this guy he may be taking the goal. He may be on the podium. You know, there was a point where, like, nobody I thought could ever take out a prime Nikola Vucevic for biggest Heat killer of all time. I'm talking Orlando Magic. T. Ross, obviously, always a Heat killer. Patty Mills, we know. But this run that TJ McConnell went on for the last 2 games against Miami, it's crazy. He was their leading scorer today, tied for their leading scorer today with Miles Turner. He was 11 of 14 from the field. And just, I mean, anytime he sees Tyler Hero on him, like, like the lights go up, but I don't want to just put this on a Tyler thing, but like he saw that and like, oh, you are not respecting me at all, because that's usually what you do when you have Tyler Hero defending you. And he was cooking, but it wasn't just that. Like, dude, they lost him on a gazillion cuts. Like, everybody was like, what? Oh, TJ McConnell behind us again. How do you not stop him to a certain point? Like, come on. 2 games two games he's going to do this to you? Like, what the hell is that? You got your season on the line. You're letting this dude just blow by you like it's nothing. You know, you would figure when he gets up to double digits, oh, maybe we should have something for him. Nope. Christ. And to have a game like, I mean, by the way, I didn't even notice this, but like by the end of the game, Tyrese Halliburton today finished 3 of 10, 12 points. But this is the theme of the year for them, man. This is the theme for the year. And I'll never bury them until they're buried, until the final piece of dirt is on this season. But, you had 2 golden chances in this last week. You had Philly in your building, and you had the lead, and you choked. And you had this game. You come out of the gate and you just allow them to get the jump on you like that. And look, yeah, Miami played respectable the rest of the way. They play respectable. They definitely settled things down. But you can't come out and give them that kind of a cushion in their building, because like any little pushback is going to get a little bit of momentum. Any little 3 that goes down is going to get the building fired up. And I just thought like there was a couple of times where they let their heads get the best of them. Bam today. You can't allow Miles Turner to sucker you into that game. And I thought Bam really lost his cool for a guy who usually never allows that to happen. Whatever their past may be with Team USA, he got completely flustered by him. And, he's getting frustrated. He's slapping the ball out of him. Lucky he didn't get a technical. And then Miles Turner hits a damn 3 ball, extends the lead to 18. He's peacocking all over the place. It's like, Bam, come on, man. Like, what are you going to do about that if you're going to allow that to happen? And I thought Bam played okay, but, certainly not his most impactful game. He was fine. You could sit here and you'd be like, oh, come on, Tubbs, you're going to sit here and you're going to bitch about 20 and 12. And it's like, yeah, it was a nice 20 and 12. But it wasn't his best performance of the season at all. And not only that, but today, took 4 from downtown. So he's, genuinely feeling froggy about that 3-point shot, which, look, I love it. I love the fact that he's adding that repertoire to his game. But you also have to have that impact inside. And, for him to allow a game like this to go and have, 4 free throws, where Miami was getting to the free throw line a ton today, and Bam to not be a big part of that was pretty crazy. Jimmy, don't really have a lot of complaints about Jimmy's game. I thought that he finishes today 27 points, 12 free throw attempts, and he honestly could have had 20 today with some of the stuff the officials were letting go. But it's for him it was unfortunate, because I felt like out of the gate he was the only one ready to play for Miami in that first quarter, and I felt like everybody else kind of was like, oh yeah, this game's important. So that was a big letdown for Jimmy Butler. That everybody, it was basically him and Caleb Martin to realize, oh hey, this game has stakes. What? This does? Crazy, man. Spo, a couple of interesting things of note. Spo didn't really play Kevin Love in the second half, other than a couple situational things at the end there. So he went away from that. Love went in for that lane, for that one situation to come in and try and get the rebound, see if something would happen there, maybe a putback. And also of note, Terry Rozier, no fourth quarter minutes today for Scary Terry, which this was going to be an interesting thing with Tyler Hero returning, because Scary Terry obviously has had some big fourth quarters. Know that he's playing a little bit banged up. That was acknowledged by Spo, but also said that he was riding some. He did acknowledge also that he was going with the hot hand, and then was kind of just riding that. But Scary Terry is obviously a difficult fourth quarter shot maker, and nothing from him. Tyler. To be fair though, look, Tyler Hero had 14 in the fourth quarter. He was spectacular in trying to get Miami there to the end with some big time buckets, but man, really just a disappointing effort in the start of this game. I just can't believe they allowed T.J. McConnell to look like Michael Jordan. It's just that to me is the disgusting part about this. So with the remainder of their schedule, they have they'll finish off this road trip at Atlanta on Tuesday. Let me get this up here. All right. Miami's remaining schedule. Let me make sure I have the dates right. I know. All right. So they'll finish off in Atlanta on Tuesday. Second night of a back-to-back at home, hosting the Dallas Mavericks. And then they'll finish off with what, with this team actively trying to lose, should be 2 layups. So, if Miami has any prayer, they got to sweep these last 4 in the way they've been playing this last week. I don't know how much faith you have in that, but it does appear right now that it looks like Miami is heading for a 7-8 matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers. I do believe they still have the tiebreaker over them and hold. So a 7-8 game would be in their building. But as we just saw, Philadelphia just won in their building. So it's going to be a challenge. Look, that Philadelphia team is definitely feeling itself. They got who do they got tonight? They got the Spurs tonight, I think. Spurs are up at halftime. They're up by 10. We'll see what ends up happening there. But the that's not like taking on the Bulls and the Hawks. Like, you just lost to that team. So I think the thing that's just been disappointing with Miami so much this year is they have had pockets. Eric Reed mentioned this. There's been 3 times they've gotten to 9 over. They've never been able to get that elusive double digits over 500. And it's always just kind of felt this year like anytime Miami feels like they're making a real serious run of things, there'd either be a critical injury or they just screw the pooch against a good team, whether that be a Denver matchup, a Celtics matchup, a Philadelphia matchup. So we'll see right now, man. They are heading for right now what seems to have this play-in written all over it. You would hope they could just take care of business and set themselves up in that 2-7 if that does happen, so they don't have to go to the bitter end of it, and we don't have a recap of last year. But which, by the way, as an aside with the play-in, it is a little bit odd that you go 7-8, have to play each other, and then you play the stink. Like, why don't the 2 top teams take on the stinkier teams? That's a little weird, is it not? Anybody find that strange? Whatever. Shouldn't be in that position in the first place, I guess I should say. Whatever, dude. Fucking TJ McConnell. Garden gnome. Carving your ass up. Doesn't miss a shot for 2 games in a row. Intangibles. I'm just going to be thinking about T.J. McConnell cutting to the rim all night tonight.